Hey, it's Scott Barrett, and welcome back to The Burning Truth, where we're going to break down all the biggest action from last night's NXT. And WWE NXT delivered a loaded episode. What do we know about it? Well, the Hardy Boyz just wrestled in a WWE ring for the first time in I don't even know how many years. Ricky Saints made his in-ring debut. We've got a title versus title match for Roadblock. Incredible. Plus, Moose just stepped up to over Femi, and things are about to get violent. There's a lot to cover, so hit that like button, strap in. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so please hit that subscribe button. And let's get into it, I suppose, is the right thing to do. What an episode. I'm sure you guys have just seen it too, but I'm just going to break down part by part what happened. And I think, you know, the thing I most want to talk about is, the TNA Tag Team Champions, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boyz, stepped into an NXT ring for the first time. Well, probably the first time ever in an NXT ring, but certainly the first time in a long time in a WWE ring. And they took on the No Quarter Catch crew, which was Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights. The fans were hot for the Hardys. Massive ovation. Really, really good nostalgia. Good's a crap word, but, you know, really, really exciting. The nostalgia element was, you know, A1. And Matt and Jeff looked sharp, hitting all the classic moves, Whisper in the Wind, Side Effect, Twist of Fate, and then Jeff sealed the win with Did He Ever, the Swanton Bomb. And what a match. What a return for the Hardys. But then out come the NXT Tag Team Champions for Axiom, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, and they entered the ring and challenged the Hardys, to which we got then not Ava, but the TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella, who made it official. And at NXT Roadblock, and I just want to talk about Roadblock really quickly. I'd forgot about Roadblock. I thought the next event was going to be Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend, but it sounds like we're going to get Roadblock first. So we're going to get Roadblock in 2 weeks, and then Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend. So brilliant. And at Roadblock, we're going to get the Hardys against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. And this will be for the TNA Tag Team titles, not the NXT, but the TNA Tag Team titles. And I think that's really exciting. Are the Hardys about to win titles or retain their titles in WWE? Or will Nathan Frazier and Axiom be dual champions, NXT and TNA? Really exciting. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I was super excited about the Hardy Boyz, genuinely, coming back to WWE. A bit of nostalgia for me. You know, they started in wrestling roughly the same. They started in WWE roughly the same time I started watching WWE. Jeff Hardy was never my favorite singles character, but as a team, I think, you know, it's one of the probably the top acts of the last 20, 30 years. So yeah, really happy with the Hardy Boyz. What else? Ricky Saints, formerly known as Ricky Starks, made his in-ring debut. So he stepped in the NXT ring for the first time, and he was teaming with Javon Evans this week against Ethan Page and Wesley. And Saints looked incredible, you know, fair play. Showed off what I imagine is his signature speed and intensity. Evans and Page brawled into the crowd to keep their rivalry alive, and they left the action. And then that left Wesley and Ricky Saints. Lee tried to steal the win, but Saints then countered with the Rochambeau for the 1-2-3. So NXT fans already chanting for Ricky. Could be a future NXT champion. I think so. But again, what do you guys think of Ricky Saints and his NXT in-ring debut? Live it. Did you love it, or are you still not sure on the name? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested in what you think in that. You know, is Ricky Saints a win, or is that just, you know, WWE wrestle crap? We've renamed him and we shouldn't have done. And is he overrated in the first place? You know, there's a lot of calls that Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints is overrated before we've even started. You know, I'm interested in what you think for that. So what else? Giulia versus Stephanie Vaquer, title versus title. This is going to happen unbelievably. So Stephanie Vaquer successfully defended the NXT Women's North American Championship against Carmen Petrovic in a really hard-hitting opener, actually. And this was the triple threat they had last week for the number one contendership. and then challenging Stephanie Vaquer, fair dues. But then after Stephanie Vaquer defended the title, the NXT Women's Champion Giulia entered the ring and almost issued a challenge for champion versus champion. And I just don't get this. Why are we doing this? Because these two are supposedly friends. They've both just won gold. We could have two huge title defenses here at Roadblock against, whoever we wanted. Jordynne Grace, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade. Who else we got knocking about? Sol Rucker. What about the is it Zarya? The beastie one? Yeah, so we've got so many matches that we could have here, but we're going to do title versus title, champion versus champion at NXT Roadblock. And I don't know if it's to unify or if it is just literally to see who the better man is, but incredible that they're doing it. And I didn't see it coming. So I suppose that's exciting in itself that I didn't see it coming and they're doing it because Giulia, Stephanie Vaquer, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, fine. I've just talked myself into it as we've been doing this video. Yeah, I think it's exciting, absolutely. It's just not where I thought we were going. With the end of last week's show where we had Jordynne Grace in the ring with Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer, and it looked like we were going to get a bit of, she was going to go after one or the other. It now looks like Jordynne Grace's first sort of challenge is going to be Roxanne Perez. But there you go. What else did we have going on? Oh, that coffee is good. Moose defeats Lexus King, and then he got his NXT title match. So the NXT X Division champion Moose, he defended his championship against the Heritage Cup champion of NXT. That's Lexus King, and Moose dominated, but he put King up for a strong fight in his hometown. Actually, I think it was a really good match. Moose dominated, but King still looked okay. And Moose hit the spear to steal the win, or to seal the win, rather. And I think it was exactly what it needed to be, because what we wanted was the meat and veg after. So we got a bit of garnish before for the match, and then the important bit is what happened after, because NXT champion Oba Femi entered the ring and confirmed the match is on. In 2 weeks at Roadblock, Oba Femi versus Moose for the NXT championship. And I suppose the question here is, can Moose shock the world and take the NXT title? These are both really dominating characters, wrestlers, and either one of them could get the win here. Are they brave enough to put Moose over Femi? That's my question. And lastly, probably the last thing I want to talk about, Shawn Spears' group taking over NXT. So Spears delivered a chilling promo revealing that his group, including Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Izzy Dame, is ready to dominate NXT. Spears is challenging Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship next week. I thought we might get that at the PLE, but we're getting it next week. And the question here then is, can Tony D'Angelo and the family stop Shawn Spears' group? I don't know what they call themselves. I need to figure it out. Will he take the title from Tony D is the question, or does the Don have still a few tricks up his sleeve? So I'm just going to reel through these because this is what we've got, right? Confirmed matches for next week. Tony D'Angelo, Shawn Spears, North American Championship. Kalani Jordan versus Jada Parker, which is that rivalry that seems to be going on for months and months. We've also got Sol Rucker and Zarya versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So we've got Chelsea Green in NXT next week. Really, really, really excited about that. And then Roadblock in 2 weeks. We've already got some major matches set. So we've got the NXT Championship, Oba Femi versus Moose. We've got the Women's and North American Champions, Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer, going one-on-one, title versus title. Unsure if it's for both belts or just for supremacy. And then the TNA, that feels weird saying for an NXT PLE, but the TNA Tag Team Championships, the Hardy Boyz versus Fraxium. Can Fraxium take the TNA Tag Team Championships from the Hardy Boyz? If I was going to give some final thoughts on this episode, I think I've got a bit shorter than I normally would today. That by no means is reflective of the show. It was another incredible episode of NXT. The Hardy Boyz return was a massive nostalgia moment. I loved it, genuinely. I'm going to go back and watch it again later. Ricky Saints, for me, had an electric in-ring debut. Really enjoyed that. Not too familiar with his AEW stuff, so seeing him in NXT and hearing the hype, really happy with that. And then Moose and Femi and Giulia, Stephanie Vaquer are huge matches for Roadblock. Not the ones I was expecting, but certainly huge matches for Roadblock, and is making me excited for that PLE already. Letdowns. Have I got any letdowns? Shawn Spears versus Tony D'Angelo feels like a filler feud now, because it's on the episode of NXT next week rather than at the PLE. It feels like a filler feud for the North American title. I don't see Shawn Spears winning, and then they'll move Tony D'Angelo on to something else. And then other letdown, Lexis King, man, he's still struggling to get momentum. I don't get the character. I don't get the Heritage Cup. It just needs to have a rethink for me. But great show, strong build for Roadblock, some huge moments for the future. And I think the important thing is now that we hear from you. So in the comments below, if you will, who wins at Roadblock, Femi or Moose? Will the Hardys win the TNA Tag Team titles in WWE? Did Ricky Saints impress in his debut, or is the name change still too weird for you? Like I say, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to all the latest WWE and NXT updates. We do loads of different stuff on the channel, so just subscribe. I'm sure you'll find something on there, or maybe more than one thing that you absolutely love, so please do that. I'll be back again next week breaking down all things NXT, and I think that is pretty much a wrap for another red hot episode of The Burning Truth, the big NXT review. Just putting the world on notice, aren't they, NXT? Week after week. Roadblock shaping up to be massive. Yeah. What we're going to be talking about next week? Well, I suppose we're going to be talking about those 3 huge matches that are already signed. But we'll also be talking about any more movement on Femi and Moose, the Hardy Boyz and Fraxium, and the tag team titles for TNA, and Ricky Saints. What's he up to next week? Remember, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you love wrestling and or maybe you just love me, or you love the podcast, then please help us and help the channel grow. Hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we can get to 1,000 subscribers. Spread the word for us. Let's build this community together. As always, stay hyped, stay wrestling, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Burning Truth. My voice broke then. Excelsior.